to facilitate and discuss the book Global Higher Education During and Beyond the COVID-19 Pandemic, Perspectives and Challenges. Now, many books and articles have been written about the pandemic, but I would say, as is represented in this room, this book itself has been accessed over 5,000 times. You will see why that's the case. The book examines multidimensional transformations that happen. They'll explore those issues through digital perspectives of digital transformation. These are quite significant resumes that they bring to us. She's a distinguished James McGill Professor and Sir William MacDonald Professor of Education at McGill University in Montreal. She's currently leading a research team at the Faculty of Education related to the preventing of extremism through educational research, or what's called PEER. We also have Mashimi Mukherjee, who is an associate professor and deputy director of the International Institute for Higher Education at O.P. Jindal Global University, the vice president of research and partnership development for the Star Scholars Network, where she initiates research partnerships and hosts workshops that facilitate intercultural dialogue amongst potential research partners to G. Alpbach. He's the founding director of the Center for International Higher Education, where he served from 1994 to 2015 as the Monin University professor at Boston College. His work on international higher education has been cited over 50,000 times, according to Google Scholar, and he still remains the editor of the world's most oldest and continuously published source of news and analysis on global higher education. I'm sure a resource to all of you because it's open access, International Higher Education. He also served as editor for the Comparative Education Review, the journal of the Comparative International Education Society. These panelists. Joined by Uttam Gali. Uttam is the president of the Society for Transnational Academic Researchers and the visionary and founder of that network, or what's known as the Star Scholars Network. He's published widely through the network and through his many partnerships with colleagues around the world. And it's a pleasure for him to be able to join us for this presentation today. The first panelist will be Philip G. Alpbach, and then I will move to the next panelist.
Okay. I will do that. Looking at the back of it, we have a couple people here. The top of academic systems around the world have survived nicely with very little change, I would say, and that's going to be the case. And I might point out that 20 years ago, people would have to be relatively careful on predicting things. My own view is that the nature of higher education systems around the world will not be fundamentally changed by the COVID crisis or ChatGPT or other things that are going on. Changes will occur. I'll point out a few of them.
It was called Challenges to Internationalization in Education During and After the Pandemic.
That time. I started off by asking the question, what is meant by internationalization? Because I think
so. I think that there's been a change there.
You could share just a few words, and then we'll move to our next.
Thank you, Dr. Glass. It's an honor. I'm here only to actually take a picture of
Chapter?
making entrepreneurship central in the Indian curricula. The context is in 2021, and there I was one of the speakers, and it was a new launch of a new educational policy plan by the government of India, and we had a chance to review it. And I come from here, and from my understanding, there are different knowledge traditions, particularly in the Indian subcontinent. There is one strand of knowledge culture that is for diving deep into the ancient knowledge, what was created by the colonial rulers, because they wanted people to work for their bureaucracy, my perspective, I would think. But there is a great entrepreneurial potential, because in 2020, the world was healing under the habit of the pandemic, social, where we see the most entrepreneurial colleges that are actually creating jobs enough. And I always had a question to myself whether entrepreneurship is something that can be taught, or is it just trait that you bring along when you're born. But I saw entrepreneurship mentioned just in passing, even though the country has so much opportunity to make it central pillar of
and university social responsibility during the pandemic.
From that chapter, because it's based on empirical research that we conducted in the middle of the pandemic, data for research. So now most of the data that is available
universities, and I think especially is making
Because of the crisis here on
And my YouTube, but feel free anyone else to jump in. What would any kind of recommendation?
my goals, humility and humanity. And I would say the logic should be economic, not nationalistic.
University and
Hello everyone, I have a privilege to stay with the four founding chairs, although I started long time ago, not very long time ago, the special interest group, study abroad and international student at CIES, and today very privileged to stay with the four chairs, Dr. Gali, Dr. Richard, and now the Taser being a new chair. Welcome. Anything you guys want to add?
Yeah, it's incredible that Dr. Vista, you had the intellectual courage to establish and carve out this very special space for people who care about international students. I'm privileged to be one of the co-founders and follow your footsteps as a chair. And we're missing Shuni here, I think. We have completed 4 years, and 5th year it is going to be Thatcher. After Dr. Vista, I became the chair, and then Shuning, and we have Roy. He did an excellent job, completed his tenure very, very successfully, and we can't wait to see what our incoming chair is going to bring to the table.
Ray, anything you want to add?
Yes, and thank you everyone for supporting our SIG these past 4.5 years. And we couldn't do it without our members as well as our supporters and sponsors and partners. So thank you so much for helping me lead this SIG. And I'm looking forward to bringing some new energy with our incoming chair after Thatcher's farewell. You want to say something, Thatcher?
sure. Well, it's an honor to be part of the group and enjoyable. And I love our community, and it'll be an honor to serve it. And I'll do my best not to let down any expectations. I think you've raised the standards pretty high, but
That is true.
I'll do my best.
Yes, and this is the first time the SIG is going outside the US, in Japan, and I feel very proud of that too. Thank you everyone, send your comments to us.